Hello and welcome to the presentation. My name's Stuart O'Donoghue. Today we'll be looking at the new features in Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2009 R2. Firstly, there's a number of developer updates. Now most people don't usually get too excited about these, but they do make it easier for the developers to do their work, which saves them time and saves costs for everybody. It also allows better programming solutions to be provided as well. Next, the product is now integrated with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Now the old CRM that was built into the product, into the NAV product, still exists in this version, but I think the long-term plan for that Microsoft have is to actually have one CRM application across all of the Dynamics products, and the integration in this step is probably the first part of that. Next, we've got the role-tailed client now supports printer selections. This isn't anything to get too excited about either, but it does allow us to manage those within the role-tailored client, where previously you had to go back to the classic client to change these. There are still a few things in the system that you still need to use a classic client for, but as each version comes out, there's more and more things that are available in the role-tailored client. And of course, probably in NAV 2007, there won't be the classic client support anymore, so the role-tailored client will actually have all of the features involved in the system available to be run from there. There's a system indicator now for the role-tailored client. That's just a small box that sits in the top right-hand corner that's configurable, and you can change that to put your company name in there. You might have it for a test database, and you can change the colours of it as well. So you might want that to come up in red and say test database, and just let you know when you're in the role-tailored client what database or system that you're actually operating in. And payment services for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. This is probably the major feature in this release, and I'll be giving you a demonstration on that today. Just an overview of the product first. The payment services is basically allows Microsoft Dynamics NAV to use credit card payments during a sales process, and that will directly debit a customer's credit card and also do the bank transactions. To have this actually working, we need to have a payment service provider, which I'll show you the setup in a moment on how that works, and the payments actually are taken out of the customer's account when we ship the goods. So I'll just go across to the classic client here, and I'll just go through the setup of this, show you what's involved with it. Okay, so if we go under administration, online services for NAV, payment services, we get the payment services setup screen here. Now on this we can say that it's active, which I won't do at the moment, but you can actually disable it by making it inactive there. And there's also a run in test mode here that allows us to actually test the system without transferring any transactions to the online service provider. So the first thing we would do in here is we would come in and we'd say sign up now, and that's going to take us to a website, a Microsoft website that'll allow us to choose an online payment services provider, and we'll get that service ID returned in the field above there. Now I'm just using the Cronus database here for a demonstration, so I won't actually go through with that step, so you'll have to use your imagination on that part. Next, after the account's been set up, we can go and manage that account, and there's some settings in there that we can change, and we can also unassociate ourselves with that account later on if we choose to change the financial service providers. Okay, that's the first part of the setup. Next, we have a look at the payment services setup here. Alright, we've got an option here to say if the authorization is required. What that will do is that will do an authorization when we place the sales order, because it's also authorized again when the payment actually occurs. The upon shipment, which in some cases could be several days later. And we've got days before authorization expiry, the next field down here. So I've just got a setting there of 3, but that will allow us to choose a number of days before that expires. So in this example, if we made a sale today and it was 4 days before we ship the goods, another authorization would occur upon shipment, because the first authorization that we did on the sales order entry only lasts for 3 days. Alright, we've got additional charges on the next tab here, so we can put charges in there. We can say it's 1%, 2.5%, and a maximum amount of $5, but these settings are going to depend on your financial service provider. And we've got a numbering tab there where we can add new credit card numbers in there. Alright, so that's some of the system setup. Now we'll just go over to the role tailored client and have a look at some of the settings there. The top right hand corner up here is that's the system indicator that I was talking to you about before. So as we said, there's a number of fonts and colours and text that you can put in there just to let you know which system you're in at any one time. Alright, first off we'll have a look at our customers. So we'll have a look at a customer card here. We'll choose customer 10,000, the Canon Group. Open up a customer card here. And we'll go and have a look at the credit cards that we've got set up for this customer. Alright, we can see that we've got one credit card set up in there, so we can set up a number of credit cards for that particular customer. And it's got a number of, just turn that into edit mode. Alright, so we've got a card number that's generated from our number series, a card type. We've got MasterCard here, the card holder name, which may be different to the account name, the credit card number in the top right hand corner here, and that's going to be encrypted. As we can see there, all those asterisks were once a genuine credit card number, but they're encrypted into the system like that to stop fraud or any other misuse of them. And we've got an expiry date there as well. Okay, so we've got our credit card set up for the Canon Group there, and we'll also need a payment method here of type card down here against that particular customer. Alright, so we'll just go back to our classic client here. Alright, and we'll put in a new sales order for this customer. Alright, new. Then we can add in our client here, customer 10,000. And before we start doing any processing here, we can we can see that our default payment methods come across, and we've got a credit card number here. We've got a list to choose from, and that's the credit card that we just set up for that particular customer. So by selecting those, we have nominated this transaction to use the online payment services. Okay, so just to overview now, so we've got our developer updates in this version, the integration with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, the role tailored client now supports printer selections, and we've got our system indicator only in the role tailored client, and also our online payment services that we just had a little look at there. So if you've got any further questions about NAV 2009 R2 or any of those features that you saw there, the best thing to do is to contact your account manager in the first instance, and they can possibly help you out with some information from a high level point of view. But if you need to speak to a consultant or want someone to come out and speak to you about upgrading maybe or any of the features in there, just give your account manager a call. I hope you've enjoyed the presentation today. My name's Stuart O'Donoghue. Thank you very much.